Welcome back, guys, and in this part 8 of my video series we are creating the account functionality. We are doing the implementation now. In the previous previous part, we designed the GUI, so now it's time to actually make something work. So I have my UML diagram, and to implement this it means that I must create these classes in the register package. I have all of the rest, right? So I just need to fill in some more functionality in the other classes. So I need to create these. Well, in the previous video I created the controller and the fxml, but I need a view model, and then I need functionality so that I can call methods all the way down my vertical cut through the system all the way down here to add a new user, right? It's still just in memory, so whenever I restart the program, all my saved users will be removed unless I hard code something in here. Maybe at some point we'll swap out with a file instead to have some kind of simple persistence, right? But we'll start up here. Well, actually I have the controller, but I need the view model, so let's do this one. Just so I have an empty class to so that my code won't complain. So I need my view, I need my register, I need a view model in here, and we say Java class register view model. This one should know about a user model, right? And I need a constructor for this one. There we go. Then I need to update my view model factory. Public register view model get, yeah, and if register VM is null, I want to create a new one, and this one here should be a field of type register view model, and we say this one is equal to a new one. So we're doing the lazy instantiation again, and I need a get user model like that. So we inject the model there, and finally we need to return it. All right. I also need, so now I have access to the view model. Now I need to provide it to my register controller, right? This one here will take a register view model, and we store this in a field variable like this. All right. Then we need to fix the view handler so that we actually get the view model here. We say view model factory get register view model like that. Okay, so now things should be bound together the way we need it to. The controller knows about a view model, the view model knows about a user model, and the rest is already in place. So I just need some functionality in here. The register, well, where do we start? We start in the view model. That's why we put in a bit of functionality. So I have a method public void register user. All right. I need some properties, so I need a private string property, and this one contains the username. I need another one to contain the password, and I need a third one to contain the confirm password. I also need something, a boolean property, to disable register button like that. Okay. Then I need getters and setters so that my controller can bind to it. Well, basically just getters for the properties here, and I don't need the ones which do not return. Right, so only the property. Oh. Maybe that was too much. String password, string that one, boolean that one. Okay, so I have my 4 properties here. Yep, so the register user, well, how do we want this to work? I guess I want, right, so obviously if I put in, well, I want the create button to be disabled if there's no name, password, or password again. If either of these are empty, I want this to be disabled, right? We can only, well, there must be something in here, and there must, before I can send something, so I can do an immediate validation check in my view model just to check if there's something in the name and if these two are not empty and actually the same thing, right? So let's do that. I need to have my error level as well. Private string property create response, like that, and I need a getter for that. Create response, and I don't need that part. All right, so this is the one that we will react to in the end, and so I need to, in the control, I want to listen to what happens here. Okay, so when I click the create button or register button, I want to check if username dot get equals that. I want to say return, and I want to say create response set username cannot be empty. If password get equals confirm password dot get. So if these two are not the same, I again say set passwords do not match. And if this is okay, then we need to do the actual creation, right? This is my initial check. So I go my user model here, create user, and I want to give it the username and the password, like that. And we create one here. So that was the username and the password. Okay, so if my initial check is okay, I tell the model to create my user. I don't need the confirmation password, because if I check here, I need to return, right? Maybe that's it. I also need to listen for the response. So we say add property change listener. Now let me just check what I did in the previous one. Not here, there. We're listening to login result. Okay, so I need something similar to that one. We'll just copy this. But instead of login result on register response, I need a method for this, right? So when I get a response back from the server, or from the model, which will get a response back from the server, I need to react to this one. I also need to register result. I need to create a constant field like this, right? I also need a request for it. Request like that at some point. Okay, so when I get something back, we just steal that as well. It should be, oh, not that one. Here, the login, and should be basically the same thing. All right, the event and my I want to rename this to register response. Right, that's a bit more clear. Instead of create, what are we creating? I want to like that result. Yeah. Okay. So that should be the functionality of my view model. Almost. I also need to say how did I do that in the other one? The on username change. Okay, that makes sense. So we'll do something similar. I actually just need all of that, and we put it in here, and we say that's not login, it's the disable. We call it register button disabled, like that. Yes, I want to rename, and we go with that one. On input fields updated. Okay, that's a bit more because we're listening for multiple, and I actually want to add this to my confirm password as well. All right, and I also want to check that down here. Just move these in again, and like that. We want to confirm password get null, or it's getting long, confirm password get equals that. All right, so we are validating on a bunch of stuff here. Maybe I'll put that back up here. All right, so now my register button should, be able to enable when things are okay. Maybe that's it. Let me just check this one. So I need to implement that method, right? The implement method. So this is my user model, and I need to do something down here in the create user. I think I'll just wait for this one, because I've made a bunch of functionality, and I just want to make sure that this part works until my user model. So let me just, in here we just say user model manager username plus password. And so I can just see that I actually get to this point when I do something. So in my diagram, I think I have most of the view model in place. We can send something to the model, but it doesn't do anything yet. So I need to fix my controller here. So let's take a look at that. Where do we have the controller? We have it, not this one. Let me just close all of this. Register controller. Okay, so in the init method here, I need to set up all my bindings. So we say the username text property bind bidirectional to register view model. I'm just going to rename this slightly shorter to the username property. We say password get text property bind bidirectional password property, and confirm password text property. We also want to bind this one to my view model confirm password. There's one. Okay, the error label we want to bind, this is just a one way. Text property bind to the register response property. And then we also need to say the register button disable property. Which one was it I used in the other one? We used a disable property, and we say bind to the view model register button, disable property, that one. Okay, let me just see, for inspiration I probably need to do something similar. Yeah, when the response comes back we need to handle that somehow. So we say that is the register response property, add change listener, and we'll just do like this. I steal that from here, and we say old value, new value, and on register results I think I'll just rename the others here for convenience, so, or readability, old value, new value, new value, like that, and I call this response. Okay, so I want something to happen when this is okay. If new value equals okay, then we want to do something. We want to say, I need a clear method. That one, okay. I'll create that, and then we say view handler. I want to swap back to the, do I not have a view handler? I am going to need a view handler at some point. View handler, and we save that here. All right. And then we go view handler, open login view. So we want to go back to that one. All right. I need the clear method. I'll create that in my view model. We're in the register view model, and we say username.clear, set. We say password set, confirm password set, response set, yeah, and just move that down. I think that was all of them. These are never initialized. Yeah, that one here and there, and this one is a boolean, new simple boolean. Oh, still a property, new simple string property, like that. And this one is a new simple boolean property, like that. All right, there we go. So these are initialized. That looks good. I have my clear method. On register button, I want to say register view model, register user. On cancel, I want to say clear. Oh, register view model clear, and then we also want to go back to that one. Maybe that's it. Let's go and run the server, run Battleship server. Let's see if what happens. I'll just pause momentarily. Yes. So it's complaining in the view handler because my controller here now also takes an instance of view handler. So that makes sense. Let's just build again. And I'll run it afterwards. Just pause here. All right. I have my UI. So I just noticed something that I forgot. So in the client here, I want to, whenever I start something, then I want to set that thread as a daemon. So that means if I shut down my program, then the thread will also terminate and the entire program will terminate. Otherwise, the thread will keep running in the background, so the program is not really terminated. It's just the GUI part. So the set daemon. Okay, let's click. That works. If I click register, that does not look good. So what did I mess up? Okay, yeah, spændende. Interesting. Invocation tag. I get a null point exception in my view mod. Okay, so there's nothing in it. I actually thought that this one would by default contain an empty string rather than just null. So another null point exception you might as well see here. I find this one, I click that, and I see, okay, that's the line where it happens. And the null point exception is, as I have said in the previous part, when you try to call a method on a variable that is null. And in this case, well, I know the username is not null because I have instantiated it, but what I get out of it is probably null because there's nothing here. So instead of an empty string, I actually get this part here. This part becomes null, and then I try to call a method on it, so I get a null point exception. So that means I have to check for this one. I'll just come with username. Null. So if my username is null or an empty string, I probably don't need this part because I don't think it will become an empty string, but well, anyway. And if those, well, here I also need to check for null. Call the password. So if password is equals to null or they do not match. So if the password is null, then we say passwords do not match. Probably need another check here. So we say if the password is null, we say register response set password cannot be empty, and then return. Okay, I don't need this for the confirmation password, because if I have inserted something in the password but not in the confirm password, then they will not be the same. And here I'm just giving it as an argument, so that is allowed to be null. So let's see how it goes this time around. All right, I have my GUI. We click the register username. Let's just see. Okay, username cannot be empty. Maybe I should make this red at some point. So I want to whatever. Michael, fine. And okay, so that's, oh, so that was not disabled originally, right? Register. Maybe I need to fix that. Okay, we make it Michael, and okay, I cannot actually do anything, so my checks here might be redundant. Maybe this should have been a password field. Okay, but if I register now, let's try this one. Passwords do not match. Wonderful. And now we register, and I actually get to the user model manager. So this part works. I have a bit of a redundant checks in here, but I'll just leave that for now. I want to set this here to be, where is it? That one initially. This should be true, so that the button is actually disabled initially. Okay, so it looks like, if we take a look at the class diagram, that I have this part working as I expected to. I am reaching this part with the method. I click a button and then I print something out here, so I just need to send it the rest of the way and then get a response back again. So let's go check out the user model manager. We have it here, and you are just going to, where do we have it? Right. I actually want to, here's another little tip. If I click the show members, then I will get these little arrows, and then I can actually see, okay, create user, and that's the one I'm looking for. Maybe I want to rename this to register user. instead of create user. There we go. So I don't want to print this out anymore. It's not relevant. I want to create well, wrap this into a new user, and we say user to create is equal to a new user with the username and a username. It already suggests this part for me. Interesting. Thank you, IntelliJ. And we say client register user with the user to create. And obviously, there's a lot of errors out here. This part doesn't exist yet. Oh, let me just shut down everything. Here we go. That method, so I just create that in the interface. I want to register a user, that's fine. I also want to implement it in my socket client. Let's just go ahead and do it right here. Implement methods, register user. All right, and basically I want to do the same thing. So I want to create a register request, and maybe so I already have duplicate code here, right? So I'll just go and Control Alt M will take a method, and I just send to server. Oh, no, that's a different one. Okay. Register result request result, that one. Yeah, okay, I can do this one here. Send to server, and it will take a register result. Yeah. I want to replace this current. Yes, I do. So what happened now? I took the part that was duplicated and I removed it down here. So now I just need to, whenever I want to send something, I send a request and I send a send to server, and I also give it a result here. Well, the event type that should be thrown in case of an error. At some point I may not need that part, but for now that's probably good. So my client should send this to the server. Let me just up here say listen to server while true. We're already firing the property, so that means my model should just listen for a register result. Alright, let's go back and check out the model manager. This one here. Up here, well, I want to listen to a register result. So what comes back? And we say on register result, create method, use a model manager. We create it here, yes. And I don't need that anymore. Do I actually need to do anything in my model upon registration, or do I just need to send it further along? Because I probably just need to send it to the view model. I mean in the login result, when I logged in, I wanted to save the user here, right? So the logged in user is that one. But I don't want to save anything. I could, of course, when you create a user, I could log you in directly, but I don't think I want that. So I don't want a method here. I want just to, and this may be a bit silly, but basically I want to fire that one, and we give it an ET. Right, so my lambda expression, and I want to just forward that event. Okay, so whenever I get an event from the client on this type, then I just resend it to the view model, right? That's probably good. Let's check out the view model. How does this one react? Because up here we also want to do something. We say user model, add project change listener, and the name should be, oh, I'm doing it up here. Easy peasy. And that one on register result, yeah. Okay, so I think my client side of it is okay. I am clicking a button, the controller sends it to the, calls a method on the view model, and this one will do some initial validation check, and otherwise just send it on to the model. In this case, the model does basically nothing other than send it to the client. At some point, the client will get a response back again from the server, and then make a notification to the model, which makes a notification to the register model, view model, which will update a property, and that will be reacted to in the controller. And in the controller, the reaction is this. So if it's okay, then we do something. Otherwise, I don't do anything and just show the label. So this is the client part, and I think I'll stop the video here and then do the server part in the next video. I could of course have implemented some functionality in my dummy client, but I'm fairly confident that I can make it work. Dummy client, just to compile stuff. So I'm going to stop this video here, and then in the next part we're going to look at the server side of this functionality. Thanks for watching.